So this was 2017. This year was completely crazy and I cannot believe how I made it out alive, honestly. So much happened. Let me take you through a few highlights. Beginning of this year, I was still presenting female. I was unhappy about it, but I was actively trying to be a woman. I made plans to try different girly activities, like getting the nails done, learning how to do my makeup. Didn't happen. In March, I turned 33. I don't celebrate my birthday usually, but 33 was a big number, and I also realized that if I want a baby naturally, I need to have it soon. So I had been off birth control for a while already, and my husband and I agreed that it was finally a good time to have a baby. So in May we moved to a new apartment, a nice one. We had a really bad, small, kind of moldy place before, so we moved to a nice place. It's really expensive, but it's nice, and in a good area, 2 rooms, 2 bathrooms and so on, like really nice and adult, and I could imagine us having a child there. But every time I thought about us having a child, the image of myself popped up to be male, to be a father, not a mother. I didn't pay too much attention to it because it's normal for me. Whenever I imagine anything about myself, I have myself as male in mind, so it's nothing new. Mid of May we went ziplining with friends, a nice boat tour. We do that every year, and the highlight is usually to go ziplining. This year I had a really bad accident. The lines were wet because it was raining a lot, and the zipline is really long, so usually a long zipline in the end it goes a little bit up naturally just, and it will slow you down because of that. And the park guide told me to give myself a good push there so I can reach the end, so I don't, slow down and fall back into the middle of the line or whatever. So I gave myself a good push, and it was really nice. I was soaring through the air. It was really, really cool. But I was gaining speed more and more, and I did not slow down in the end, and I was so fast that I crashed into the landing pad with my back first. The pain was so intense. I had really to fight passing out. So I really deal well with pains, but this was just so bad. Like, it was worse than anything I've ever felt. Not passing out was actually hard enough, and I was dangling in my harness on the middle of the zip line, moaning and everything. And I'm a trained first aid responder, so I kind of understand like the trauma just from hanging there, and I understand the trauma from the impact as well. And so me already fighting like through this kind of cloud, this haze to stay alert. My husband was coming to me I think he wanted to help and stabilize me because I was dangling quite a bit. All I could get out is like, don't touch my back, don't touch my back. I remember that, like I was just moaning it out, don't touch my back, because I didn't know if my back is broken or if it's like a muscle, or I didn't know what happened. It was just pain, and that was it, So a friend of mine pulled me up to the landing pad very carefully, and I was kind of guiding the park guide what I needed in that moment, so I can avoid more trauma on my body or anything on my system. And that was really good. So after a few minutes, when it became a bit easier to fight passing out, she hooked me into some emergency line to get off the pad safely. I remember walking back slowly and with a big strong park guide on one side and my husband on the other side to hook on or hold on to them. So my back was not broken, hurrah. So that's the good news. It was a really bad, really big muscle tear. Basically half my lower back, the whole muscle was torn. It took about 3 months to heal. A few weeks after the ziplining accident, I was at therapy, and my therapist suggested we do an exercise to relax me. I was very anxious, and he wanted to help. He already knew that I was trans, so he understood like the kind of stress, and he just wanted to relax me a little bit, and I understand, but I'm not good on these type of exercises with like mind journeys and stuff like that. The exercise was to imagine some things, just a normal morning basically. Getting up in the morning, getting ready for work and so on. The whole time again I imagined myself as male. I had this nice flat chest, and when I went to pee I had a penis, I had hair on my chest, and I was walking topless in the apartment, and I had a nice beard too, and just what I want my body to be, like what I feel my body to be, kind of. And it made me so upset. I just broke down. I couldn't stop myself. Like I just broke down. We stopped the exercise, and it was really upsetting for me that I couldn't transition. I knew that a lot of my plans for the future would be void if I transitioned. But me not transitioning, really, I reached a boiling point at the time. My depression became really, really bad, worse and worse, and I was starting to think about suicide again, and it was not the way that many people think about it, where you have a vague thought, but mine were really specific. I had spoken to my best friends about me being trans and finding it hard not to transition. I felt that I couldn't talk about this to my husband because he would get upset about it. He knew that I was trans as well because I had told him a few years back, but he had been very difficult around the topic since I came out to him. Every time we would speak about it, he would try to find reasons why I shouldn't transition and why that is a bad idea, and anyway, it's a mental illness and it should not be treated with a physical change. Kind of understandable, but science disagrees that that's a mental illness. So naturally, as I knew that even a short haircut was freaking him out, I did not bring up how serious it had gotten. In August, one of my friends visited me for a week. I had a breather and I feel that it was really good. It felt very good. He accepted me the way I was. He knew everything and he was normal and accepting. Things were fine. We talked a lot and we did some fun things. That week was such a breather for my mental health. And it helped me to calm down a little bit. In September though, I finally cracked under the weight of not being able to transition. I definitely did not want to become part of the 40% of trans people in Ireland who attempt suicide, but I saw no future for myself. I wanted to be myself. I wanted to be myself so much. It was a hard struggle for me when I realized what my transition would mean to my relationship. But it was a life or death situation. It was really that kind of decision and it was that bad. So I told my husband about it. He did not take it well. We had a lot of nights where we talked or we cried or we tried to figure things out. We didn't want to break up because there was too much love and too much strong history in our relationship. We definitely wanted to find a way to make it work. From my side, I was willing to stay together and work it out somehow, even though I had no idea how. But from my husband's side, things were harder. He's straight, not gay, not even a little bit bi. It was clear that there was a high possibility that we might not be able to make it work. But still, we definitely wanted to try. In the end, we know it didn't work out, but it was a hard few months to come to this realization. A lot of tears, a lot of anger, bargaining. Basically, we went through the stages of grief. The Irish healthcare system is not really well equipped to deal with transgender people. The waiting lists are incredibly long here. You can wait for a year to get your first appointment. So knowing this, I went to the doctor to get my referrals. I went to the doctor very soon after making the decision because I knew how long it would take. But me doing this seemed to my husband like I don't care about the relationship, when in reality I was talking and thinking about nothing else. How can I make this work? How can I make this work? Why must I cause this pain to us? Why can't I be normal? I'm the reason why we are all suffering here. I don't know how to be alone anymore. How can I make this relationship work? Like just how all the time. I had no single calm moment since July, and it was not looking like it would get better. I was trying to shield my husband from my struggle, but apparently to the outside it looked like I have no emotions. I was struggling so much. I had mental breakdowns multiple times a week. I would go to work, function, go home, and then break down. I was very upset about the fact that I was causing so much suffering and of what seemed like a selfish reason. And indeed, it's selfish, but then again, it was this or no future whatsoever. I chose the one future I could do. The future that meant I'm going to be me and I will be recognized and respected as who I am really. I chose the future where my outside matches my inside. During all of this emotional struggle, I went to a festival. I went with one of my best friends and my husband, and it was really weird because I love going there every year, but this year was weird because of this shadow hanging over our relationship. I was in for getting the most fun and most good memories. I wanted to create good positive memories, but it was hard to get through those days and have fun as my husband was almost unable to light up at all. I have to say that I am not an emotionless monster, but I wanted to create good memories and work things out, and even if it wouldn't work out in the end, I wanted to still make the best of a shit situation. So while I tried to enjoy the festival very much, it was hard. When I came back to work after the festival, I came back as Rob. My team was calling me Rob, my managers were calling me Rob, my badge was ready, so I now have a new badge that said Rob as well. My new email address was as good as ready. We had to do a lot of IT things to make everything work on the back end, so I would have, access to all the systems that I need to work. Because my email and my handle had changed, but took about a week and everything was set. No drama involved. My employer was really great at helping me get set. As the end of the year drew closer, things became busier and more stressful. A lot of pressure was and continues to be on my team. I spent a while alone at home, then I visited Germany. I made vlogs about those events. When I came back from Germany, my husband was in a very bad mood. I thought I could help him to light up. I invited some friends. It was Thanksgiving time, but we were a day late, so I made what I called not Thanksgiving, not dinner. And as it was a day late, and I had planned it for the afternoon, rather than the evening, I invited a few good friends. We enjoyed the dinner and the conversation and the tea, and it was just a nice evening with friends. And once everybody left, my husband asked if we could talk, and that is when he broke up with me. Vlog 13 covers the breakup fairly well. I took the breakup harder than I thought I would. In the back of my mind, I had started to brace myself for that. But all the thinking about it, the talking to him, mentioning it with a therapist, it did not prepare me for the pain it caused me officially breaking up. We had been together for 9 years. This is the first Christmas we are not a couple. There won't be presents, I think, or anything special really. I decorated and put up a tree, but nobody really looks at anything. We have ups and downs, and we want to be friends and we want to stay friends. We are actually really still very friendly, so let's see how that works out, I guess. Once we get over the breakup, it's still a little bit rocky. But yeah, what are the plans for 2018? When it comes to my relationship status, I'm going to take things slow. I'm currently definitely not in the mood to find somebody new. My breakup is too fresh and I'm definitely not over it. I'm certainly not ready to look for a new partner right now. And while I'm not saying that I will never date again, currently that is not what I want to do at all. When it comes to the transition, I want to get on hormones in 2018. This is why I'm going to get a private referral for the psychiatrist in January. I am hoping that I can speed up the process by a couple of months at least, by going private. Work, we will see. I'm currently looking into switching to another team, and I'm preparing for that. My manager stands behind me for this. Other than that, I like my employer, I like what the company stands for, so I want to stay as long as I can. My contract is currently until April, so let's see how it goes after April, I guess. So yeah, 2017 was crazy as hell.